On average, people will make $1 million more during their lifetime with a college degree than with a high school degree. So
what you're looking at an old statistic, a statistic that goes back 75 years, maybe. How many years is that? How about the people now with this ridiculous, woke mentality of colleges right now? I think they teach people to be poorer. So I think that statistic, if you look back in 30 years from now, will be very, very much different.
The average college graduate makes $1 million more in their lifetime than somebody who didn't go to college. Sounds like a lot, right? But that's over a 40-year work period, which translates to $25,000 more a year. Now, with your student loan and all that interest, that's going to be about $300,000. So let's minus that from the million, have you at $700,000, which brings you down to $17,500 a year more. And take away 30% taxes from that, that's going to have you at about $12,250 more a year than somebody who didn't graduate college. Is $12,250 really enough money for us to have a discourse that's basically shaming black men for making the choices that they deem fit for themselves? I mean, $12,250 is all your college degree gets you over somebody who didn't go.
Today I had a realization that I bought into the lie of college, get a good job, get a degree, you'll go far. And today, I realized that I am a fucking slave. I got good grades all through school because I dreamed of college. I thought, I'll go to college, I'll get a good job, and it'll change the course of my life. I'll have everything I need, I'll make money. Because I grew up with nothing. And probably like most of you, my parents pushed college. And I saw college as this, this savior. I was going to take all the problems away. It was going to set me up for life. But we all believed a lie. I know I'm not the only person. I believe that lie. Real freedom is not just chasing money. Real freedom is the opportunity to wake up when you want to wake up. To eat breakfast when you want to. To be able to go see your nephew on any day that you desire. Being told when to go to lunch. Being told what time to arrive, what time to leave. Being overworked and underpaid. It's no life at all. I'm not necessarily complaining about the job. Guys, we've got a bigger problem. This is our only trip to Earth. And instead of living, we are surviving. And I feel that strong. I've never felt it like I feel it now. If you're out there and you're surviving and you're awake and you're aware, then you know what I'm talking about. Stay strong. Because there is hope. And I do believe, I'm telling you, I'm going to make this declaration. This time next year, I will be no one's employee. I will be financially independent. I will decide when I get up. No alarm clock will wake me. I'm going to go visit my nephew anytime I want. He is such an amazing child. I'm going to take my baby all over the world. And I'm going to teach him about entrepreneurship and about owning his life and about living versus surviving. If you know a young child, if you have a young child, guys, we gotta teach them. Because this system of slavery is not the way.
We are slaves to student debt.
Between myself and my children, I owe $211,000 in student loan debt.
I borrowed $60,000 and now I'm $268,000 in debt.
I borrowed $70,000. Over 10 years, I paid $60,000, and I still owe $75,000 more than I borrowed.
The interest is so high and it's compounded daily, it's predatory.
If these loans don't go away, they're going to garnish my Social Security. So not only do I not have any retirement savings, I have less than what I was promised for every time I paid my Social Security out of my paycheck for the last 40 years.
I'm the very first person in my family that ever went to college. But I am the worst off right now than everybody in my family.
Taking out student loans was the worst mistake of my life.
Life insurance policies just to pay student debt. Yeah, what the fuck is that? Yes.
Joe Biden can fix this, and he can fix it today. There's the provision 902.2, which allows the Department of Education to discharge debts based on the age of the debtor.
Biden, don't forget, cancel student debt.
Unless Biden does something about it, it's never going to stop.
Time is running out. Time is running out.
Is it me, or do I feel like we've all been lied to growing up in elementary school, middle school, and high school? We were literally all taught that going to college, graduating will mean, we would all get, good jobs, good careers, a lot of money, and that's not the case now. It's hard to get a job. Jobs are not paying that much. Most jobs aren't paying that much. It's close to minimum wage. And employers do not care whether or not a candidate has a degree. It's not even guaranteed getting your master's will mean you'll be successful, have a good career. I mean, it does depend on what you do. But really, I feel like I've been, bamboozled. I've been lied to, like literally. It's crazy.
Your degree is worthless. Here's what they won't tell you about real wealth. You think that degree is going to give you security? The system has you programmed to believe that going to school, getting a degree, and working a corporate job will lead you down the path of success. The truth is, education is designed to keep you in the system, not set you free. I didn't make my first million by following some textbook. I made it by breaking the mold. Real wealth comes from learning how to scale and understanding the digital space. You don't need a degree to make millions. You need knowledge, action, and resilience.
I was being nosy and listening to a couple of girls that work at my gym's conversation, and they were talking about how they've had all these job interviews, applied to all these jobs, can't get a job. Now they have to work at a gym. Literally everyone is in this predicament. It's so frustrating. Like everyone I talk to, they're having these interviews, sounds like it goes great, and they didn't get the job. Who are the companies hiring then? I have not heard one person say, wow, the interview went great, I got hired. Who are they hiring? Additionally, what are we doing? Serving burgers and bartending is really, really burning me out. I'm really sick of it. Do I money launder? Is that even profitable? I could not be a stripper. Pole dancing is so hard. I could never look graceful up there. I really don't know. What are we doing, guys? That isn't serving and bartending. How can I make some money? I've honestly had every random job in the world, so I feel like I could do anything, honestly.
I'm literally having like a midlife crisis. Like all these jobs I hear are paying $23, $24, $25 an hour, and I'm not trying to sound ungrateful, but like that's just not enough money. Like I cannot survive. I cannot live. I have kids. Like I cannot use $23, $24, $25 an hour and make a living. Okay, like it's not enough money. It's simply not enough money. It's just not. And it's like, did I go back to school and get a bachelor's degree for what? What did I get a bachelor's degree for? To make $23, $24, $25 an hour? For what?
Last night I had to log into my student loan account to print out the paperwork to have my taxes done today. So I got to get a glimpse of my student loan balance for the first time in, I don't know, presumably a year. I honestly don't remember knowing what I owed still. Now, for a point of reference, I graduated in 2011. Okay, so I've been making student loan payments for almost 14 years. I actually did the math. It was about 165 monthly student loan payments that I've made so far. Okay, now I went to pharmacy school. I'm a pharmacist. That's a doctorate degree. It took 6 years. I went to a private school, not because I wanted to, but at the time, there were only 6 schools in the state of Pennsylvania with a pharmacy program. 2 of them were state schools, 4 of them were private. Chose the school I chose because they gave me a $12,000 a year academic scholarship for the first 4 years. So I got $48,000 worth of academic scholarship. So that's why I chose that school. So my education, even with the scholarship, cost still like $250,000, roughly. Now, I'm fortunate my parents paid for a really good chunk of that, over $100,000. I don't remember the exact numbers, honestly, of how it all washed out. But I do know when I got my first student loan bill in the mail, well, I almost shit a brick, but my balance was like right around $125,000. Okay, 165 monthly payments on $125,000. How much do you think I still owe? $78,000. Yeah, I don't know. The math isn't mathing. Now, full disclosure, I did refinance at some point, which is a horrible idea. Like at the time, it seems like a good idea because the monthly payments are so like overwhelming, but in the long run, you're screwing yourself when you refinance a student loan. You just are. So 165 monthly payments. I never deferred it. I never missed a payment. And I still owe $78,000. And I've been out of school for 14 years. My oldest turns 10 next week. So realistically, if she decides to go to college, I'm going to be still paying my student loans and likely still owe like $30-some thousand on my student loans when I'm trying to figure out how to pay for her college. And I don't know what the solution is to this whole situation. I don't think loan forgiveness is fair. I don't think taxpayers who didn't go to college should have to have their tax money pay off the student loans for those who did choose to go to college. I don't think that's fair at all. But I do think something needs to be done because universities are charging like obscene tuition. Student loan companies are doing predatory lending to children and setting up people for like a lifetime of debt. Like you're starting out your adult life with like crippling debt. And I don't know what the solution is here, but something isn't.
Hey, so this is probably the most vulnerable post I will have ever made in the history of time. And for those of you who this little blue halo is already triggering you, I'm so sorry. But I'm gonna hopefully make you feel better, and I'm honestly having a weekly crash out. I need help from you as well. This is how much money I owe in student debt for my physician assistant degree. And before you go ahead and take out the phrase that is so commonly used, oh, but you knew how much you were taking out in the beginning. No, a lot of this has to do with interest alone accruing, while I am in a hell of a limbo of what we like to call administrative forbearance, trying to get into the SAVE plan. So I worked with a student loan counselor after I graduated, and I was told to consolidate all of my Direct Plus grad student loans to be one loan so that I could apply to the SAVE repayment plan. Right as soon as I started and submitted my application was when all the chaos happened in the courts, where they just can't get their head out of their ass and figure out what they're doing. And so I never actually got into the SAVE plan. And so I have been accruing interest at a 7% rate. I've not had to pay my monthly payment. My monthly payment has been $0 because of a previous tax return when I was making $0 income as a student. But still, this amount is a literal noose around my neck. And I don't think I will ever pay this off. I fear that I will not be able to ever own a home as someone still earning 6 figures salary, let alone children. I would love and aspire to have a child someday, but this really, I don't want to say like makes me suicidal, but like it truly makes it really hard to get out of bed every morning. And I know I'm not alone. I know I don't even have it that bad, but I'm truly asking as a cry for help, like how you compartmentalize the stress of something like this, knowing that you'll never, ever get out of debt, because it would take an act of God to take this amount away. And people repay the principal loan multiple times over in situations like me, but they never get rid of their debt because of the system at hand. And that is what is so fucked about student loans for people in advanced degrees like doctor, nurse, anesthetist, nurse practitioner, physician assistant. What else can I think of? Any degree program that takes multiple loans and at least 6 figures to take out to go to these programs. And I did this to get a better life for myself, get a salary that actually amounted to something for my future family. And yet this is what happened. And a lot of it wasn't even the fault of my own, because I had no way of predicting that this would happen. I had no way of knowing that SAVE would not be around in the future. PSLF is my only option. I do work at a 501c3, but even then, the payment is like pushing almost $1,000 a month, and that will soon become even unaffordable for me. So yeah, I'm literally at a loss.
A realization I've had to come to terms with is that I went to school, worked full time, and got a full 4-year bachelor's degree, and it ain't do nothing for me. I feel like I just wasted my time. I feel like if you're not going to do anything like medical related or law or human resources, and even then, what's the point? What's the point?
Just found out that my estimated student loan debt payoff is in the year 2049. 2049. 2049. Do I have my fiance start planning my funeral today or tomorrow?
When I graduated in May of 2025, I had $258,000 worth of student loans, and I have been paying way above the minimum for the past 5 months. So let's go over some numbers. I have 2 different loan servicers, Mohila and Nailnet. My Nailnet is not due at the moment because it is a different servicer, and it's not due till 6 months after I graduate. Mohila, different story because they're the worst. In the past 5 months, I have paid a total of $35,000, which should have taken it from $258,000 to $223,000. But with the incredible interest rates that student loans have at my 7%, I now still owe a total of $228,000, which means I have accrued $5,000 worth of interest over the past 5 months. And when I say way above the minimum, I'm talking $3,200 above the minimum every single month. And that is still how much interest I've accrued. That is sickening and wrong. And if you don't think so, you also have something wrong.